Chapter 1. The Death Tree. Monchinella.
Raise your hand if you've ever bitten into an apple without thinking twice. Yeah, same. But there's one fruit that'll teach you to never do that again. The manchineel tree. They call it the death apple. Native to the Caribbean coast, it looks like a sweet green apple. It even smells like one. But touch it and you're in serious trouble. The sap is a milky white liquid. That's not the worst part. Spanish explorers called it the manzanilla de la muerte, little apple of death. Even standing under it in the rain can blister your skin. The smoke from burning its wood can blind you permanently. A single bite can kill you within hours. So next time you see a random fruit hanging from a tree, maybe double check before taking a bite. Because survival isn't about luck. It's about knowing exactly what to avoid. A single bite can kill you within hours. So next time you see a random fruit hanging from a tree, maybe double check before taking a bite.
Chapter 2. The Suicide Tree. Ciberodolum.
This is the Ciberodolum, famously known as the suicide tree. At first glance, it looks just like a completely mango. But do not let this innocent green exterior fool you. Deep inside its heavy seed, there lies a silent, terrifying killer. Hidden deep inside this fruit is cerberin, an incredibly deadly chemical toxin. Once it enters the human body, it directly targets your essential sodium-potassium pumps. Think of it as a heavy locked gate, completely preventing your vital cells. Your heart completely relies on delicate electrical signals to beat rhythmically. Cerberin steps in and instantly jams this critical signal. It acts exactly like cutting the main phone line right in the middle of an intense, life-saving relay race. As a direct result, the victim's heart rate rapidly plummets down. Every single beat becomes chaotic, terrifying, and highly irregular. The digital clock is ticking down, fading away minute by minute, second by second, as time completely runs out. And then, everything completely stops. The body collapses into total, irreversible cardiac arrest. This is exactly why the notorious suicide tree remains one of the most silent and potent cardiotoxins found anywhere on the entire planet Earth.
Chapter 3. The Stinging Tree. Jimpy.
At first glance, this bush looks completely ordinary, hiding under the shadow of the dense Australian rainforest. But do not be fooled. This is the gimpy, infamously known as the stinging tree, carrying one of the most agonizing secrets in the entire botanical world. The entire surface of these beautiful green leaves is densely covered in millions of microscopic hollow needles. Made entirely of pure silica, these terrifying trichomes easily detach at the slightest breeze, ready to pierce deep into your skin with a devastating chemical payload. Upon contact, a unique and incredibly potent neurotoxin enters the victim's nervous system. It triggers a pain so blinding, patients describe it as being severely burnt by boiling hot acid, while simultaneously being electrocuted. It is a pure, unrelenting nightmare. Looking closely at the cellular level, the venom contains a dangerous peptide called gympiotides. This molecule acts like a master key, forcefully locking the body's pain receptors into a permanent open position, continuously sending distress signals straight to the brain. Worst of all, this pain is not temporary. The microscopic glass needles remain trapped in the tissue for months or even years. Every single time the affected area is touched by cold water or a sudden temperature change, there is currently no effective medical cure or antidote for severe gimpy sting.
Chapter 4. Beauty. Flycatcher. Venus. Flytrap.
Unlike most other plants on Earth that wait passively for nutrients, this unique predator actively hunts. The Venus flytrap is a literal green monster, featuring a highly specialized leaf modification shaped like an open, deadly jaw with sharp teeth. As the curious victim approaches, they notice the sweet, attractive nectar coating the trap. But deep inside this green chamber, tiny, ultra-sensitive hairs act as silent motion sensors, waiting for the slightest mechanical touch to trigger a sudden catastrophe. The very moment a trigger hair is touched twice, the entire trap snaps shut with incredible force in less than a second. Escape becomes absolutely impossible as the sharp, interlocking spikes lock together, trapping the victim inside a living prison. Once sealed, the plant begins to flood the interior chamber with a highly corrosive cocktail of powerful digestive enzymes. This aggressive neon fluid slowly dissolves the soft tissues of the helpless prey alive, transforming them into a nutrient-rich soup over several days. After the grueling digestion process is finally complete, the defleshed trap slowly peels apart once again. The victim's hand is released, covered in acidic fluid that drips heavily from the fingers, leaving behind nothing but a completely hollow and broken shell. This terrifying display is a stark reminder of nature's brutal adaptability. When dealing with such aggressive botanical predators, you must always stay alert. If you ever encounter these open jaws, hold up your hand, keep your distance, and do not touch.
Chapter 5. The Zombie Fungus. Cordyceps.
At first glance, this strange mushroom appears completely quiet and harmless, blending perfectly into the dark forest floor. But hidden beneath its pale cap lies cordyceps, a terrifying fungal organism that does not seek soil but looks for a living host. The nightmare begins when a single microscopic, glowing spore drifts silently through the air. The moment it lands precisely on the victim's head, it immediately dissolves through the tough outer layer, quietly penetrating deep into the living tissue beneath. Once inside, the fungus releases a network of aggressive, neon yellow, thread-like mycelium. These parasitic lines pulse and writhe through the body like living worms, completely taking over the central nervous system and turning the conscious victim into a helpless puppet. Driven by the fungal mind, the zombie is forced to climb to a high vantage point. It locks itself into a permanent death grip, tightly clamping its fingers and feet around the plant's stem. Its mind is completely frozen as life slowly fades away. With the host now dead, the ultimate horror begins to unfold. A thick, white fungal stalk slowly and organically sprouts directly out from the back of the victim's head, elongating upward over time while releasing toxic moisture that drips heavily down. Finally, the mature stalk bursts open, violently dispersing thousands of new, deadly spores into the wind. They drift down in a fluid, toxic cloud, ready to hunt again. This is nature's ultimate biological hazard, where death is just the beginning of a new cycle.